What is up? Today I'm going to show you exactly how I generated well over 350 full bathroom remodel leads and how that converted into high six figures in actual closed jobs, actual revenue, actual cash. These are full bathroom remodel jobs. This is not just, a walk-in shower, a walk-in tub. These are full-on bathroom remodel jobs, and the leads converted at around 50 to 60% into actual quality appointments where someone would go out, give an inspection, give a quote, and close them on site. So yeah, let's dive right in. Okay, so here are the numbers. 357 leads at around $48 cost per lead. And like I said, booked around 50 to 60%, which all of those numbers are well above average. We only spent around $17,000 on this campaign, and it transformed into high six figures for the client. So obviously, huge success, ridiculous return on ad spend, right? So let me show you the campaign itself, right? So you see, it's real. It's real. We can hit a little refresh. It's real, right? Okay, so 17.4, $48 lead cost, like I said, and 357 leads, like I said. The time frame is a couple of months. I just have it on the maximum set here, but we're spending about only like $2 or $3 grand a month on this particular account. So nothing crazy actually. Okay, those are the numbers. This is a bathroom remodeling company. It's actually just a contracting company. They do roofing as well. That works with us. If you don't already know who I am, I'm Cole, one of the co-founders of NCT Media. It's basically a company that works with contractors and provides them qualified booked appointments onto their calendar, completely done for them, so they don't have to call leads, they don't have to generate leads, they just have to show up, give a quote, close deals, and then scale it up and hit 8 figures, 9 figures, whatever their goal is. And yeah, that's about it. So let's get back into it here. The biggest misconception about lead quality is what actually makes a lead high quality, right? You may think if a lead comes in and let's say they don't have a high budget, right? Maybe they want a job done for completely free or something like that. Is that a high quality lead or is that a low quality lead? And most of you would probably say that's a low quality lead, but I would beg to differ. The reason why is that lead may align with somebody else's sales process, right? So somebody, let's say they do no upfront, they have some sort of financing offer that works with this particular person, and this particular person's intent and motivation is so heavily geared towards not spending cash up front and having some sort of financing plan, right? Or maybe getting some sort of assistance from the government or whatever. It kind of depends on what sort of offer you offer and what service you offer, right? That lead, that could be a low quality lead for one company that might do an upfront payment versus that could be a really high quality lead for somebody that offers that financing plan, right? Because that lead really wants to do that financing stuff and they don't want to pay up front. So they're going to be highly motivated to move forward with that company rather than your company, right? So it's not necessarily that thing, like them not having the money or them wanting something that makes a lead high quality or low quality. It's the lead aligning with your sales process, right? So obviously in context, if your sales process is something where they need to have high budgets and they need to have a lot of cash on hand to move forward, then that lead would be considered a low quality lead in the context of your sales process and your offer, right? But you can't label a lead as low quality or high quality without that context, right? The lead fundamentally in and of itself isn't high quality or low quality. It's the lead in relation to your sales process, right? So understanding that fundamental of how you can label leads high quality. Now you could label leads low quality. Now you know exactly what it takes to actually get high quality leads, right? It's not just these random qualifications where you have this preconceived notion that that's just a high quality lead. It's actually, this is my sales process. That lead best, align with it, right? Some people they might have, let's say their lowest amount is 5 grand, right? And they put on their ads or their qualifying forms, you need to spend 10 grand at least, right? Sure, that might be a really high quality lead because you're pitching less than you're labeling, but your lead cost is going to be unnecessarily high. So it's important to align here, right? And same thing if you go lower than that 5 grand amount, right? So if you say 3 grand, then you're going to get a good amount of people that can't spend that extra 2 grand to move forward. So now you're going to have a quality discrepancy, right? So it's important that it's in direct alignment with your sales process. Now, it's not just the price. That's a really simple example and analogy, but it's literally everything. What are your guarantees? What quality of service do you offer? Are you more geared towards price and deal, or are you more geared towards quality? What does your company overall look like, and what does your sales process look like, right? And you better generate leads that align with that and desire that, because if you don't, you're going to be seeing a big, quality issue here. So it needs to align. These need to align. Sales and marketing, they work together. If you have one not in alignment with the other, you're just giving yourself a hard time, and you're giving yourself friction at scale, right? So let's talk about how we get leads to be in alignment. What are the levers that we could pull? What are the things that we could kind of do to make sure that the leads are in alignment with the sales process? Okay, so here's the 3-part alignment system that we use for every single one of our clients, right? This is kind of what makes us a little bit different from typical marketing agencies or typical lead vendors, right? We're a lead vendor in the sense of how we actually, offer our services and how our packages are packaged, right? We offer leads kind of on a pay per lead basis where you're just paying us a fixed cost per lead or per appointment, right? But we're also similar to a marketing agency in the way where we have the ability to tailor campaigns towards a client, right, in their sales process, which is why we tend to get some pretty solid results as well. So the very first thing, I actually have them in the wrong order here, but the very first thing that I want to talk about is your ad messaging, okay? So what's the very first thing? If you're running ads online, what's the very first thing they see, read, etc.? And that's the messaging in the ad, okay? So this includes the ad copy, the headline, the script of the video ad, or just the headline, sub-headlines, and the text on screen of an image ad, okay? So this is just your messaging, right? So what does the ad actually say? What does it communicate? Who does it speak to? Okay. And now it's very important that you speak to the right audience that aligns with your sales process, right? So if you have, like I said, if you gear towards really high ticket, let's say roofs or bathroom remodels or, luxury kitchens, whatever it may be, if you gear towards that sort of service and you're more of a quality focus, not a price deal focused service, then you need to make your ad about quality, and you need to talk about the quality, and you need to show off the quality, right? And you need to gear it towards that. Not only that, though, what makes good ad messaging is not just what the ad communicates and what audience it talks to, it's also the audience that it doesn't talk to, right? And what I mean by that is your ad needs to be very clear, and your messaging needs to be very clear that this is not for the people that can't afford it, for example, right? So using that quality example, if you target these super high ticket jobs and you're showing these luxury kitchens and all this stuff, everybody wants a luxury kitchen, right? Everybody does, right? Even if you don't have that much money, you want a luxury kitchen. And a lot of people, they aren't very smart, and they think that they're going to get some handout and somebody's going to offer them a luxury kitchen for 4 grand or whatever, right? So you better in your ad make it very clear that this is going to be very expensive, right? So what does that do now? It communicates to people that want high quality kitchens but also can't afford it, and it tells the people that can afford it that this is not for them. So that's what good ad messaging does, is it communicates to the audience that you want to speak to, but it also makes it clear to the audience that you don't want to speak to that this isn't for them. Okay, and that's the very first thing, right? Because your ads, especially with Facebook's AI algorithms, right? The creative is actually what targets the audience for the most part. Things like custom audiences and things like that could kind of, help a little bit, help guide Facebook's algorithm a little bit, but that messaging is ultimately where it all lies, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is the funnel, okay? So if you have these specific qualifications and, for example, a price thing, you better ask questions that are in alignment with that, right? I think of the ad as the primary thing. This is going to attract the right people, right? But the funnel is kind of a safety net. It catches the people that came through accidentally, or they, again, aren't the smartest and they still come through the ad hoping for some sort of handout or whatever. The funnel doubles down and it catches those people, right? It limits the amount of DQs as much as humanly possible that are going to actually come through this funnel. So it's kind of that safety net. And it also works in tandem with your Facebook pixel as well as your ad. And it helps the algorithm learn and learn and learn and learn, right? If you have a bunch of DQs coming through as conversions, that tells the pixel these are guys that are coming through as conversions, so we're going to get more of them, right? So the funnel being in place and catching those people and kicking those people out so they don't convert into leads is very important also. It kind of works together with the whole process here. And then lastly, this is kind of the last safety net under that safety net, is your call team, your agents, your sales team, whatever you have, right? For us, we have a call team of agents trained in multiple different contracting services and industries, and they call the lead. They make sure they're qualified, okay? Because people lie, right? They make sure they're qualified. They try to sniff out if they aren't, and they also set proper expectations, right? So if your sales process looks a certain way, maybe you call before the appointment or text before the appointment, or you're showing up wearing a certain shirt, right? Whatever it may be, our team communicates that. So it's in better alignment and clarity with the sales process, right? If they know they're supposed to be expecting a guy in a red t-shirt, maybe they forget about the appointment, but they see a guy in a red t-shirt come up to their door, and then now they're like, oh, boom, I remember, I booked an appointment, right? Whatever it is, okay? More clarity and alignment with your sales process, the better. So we try to keep that as much as possible, not only on our ad funnel, on our ad creative, but also on our call team and our agent team, and we make sure that we set those proper expectations. Additionally, emails, text messages, they also align with the sales process as well, okay? So it's important that the entire pre-appointment process actually aligns with your sales process, okay? So that's incredibly important, right? And that is going to ensure that you're getting high quality leads. If they come to the appointment expecting a guy in a red shirt, they're going to have to pay at least 10 grand or whatever it may be. They know what you sell roughly, the type of kitchens you've done. They've seen some customer reviews. They kind of have that trust already pre-built. They're going to be very likely to buy, right? But if you are kind of getting people, you're kind of bait and switching, right? And you kind of get people that are out of alignment. Maybe they're expecting, that handout, like I said, or very cheap prices and very cheap estimates, then you're going to have a lower conversion rate, right? So we really try to gear towards quality and alignment with the sales process. Now, we've literally deployed this same exact process across almost every single popular contracting trade. We typically work with higher ticket contractors, so bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, HVAC companies, roofers, siding, full house window replacement, walk-in showers, cabinet resurfacing, things like that we typically work with. And it's the same system overall. It works phenomenally in each and every trade, service, industry, however you want to label that. So if you are one of those, or maybe you are a bathroom or kitchen remodeler, click the top link in the description, book a call, see if you're a good fit with us. We only work with certain people, and I don't say that as some sort of marketing scarcity tactic. We genuinely filter for who we want to work with because certain sales processes work better than others. We look for really good and established sales teams. Certain numbers like close rates and things like that would only work with us because of just kind of the way we structure our marketing and the way we operate overall. So we really want to work with the right clients because we actually only make money long term here, not short term. So yeah, if you are interested, click that link and book a call to talk to somebody on my team to see if you're a good fit. If not, just enjoy everything that I shared in this video, and I hope you could apply it to your business and make a bunch of money. And check out some other videos on our channel as well, so you could do the same and apply that value. We give a lot of free information and free sauce that we learned over the years of spending millions of dollars on Facebook ads for contracting companies. So that's pretty much it. See you in the next one.